I'm going to give you stimulus updates on the $3.5 trillion human infrastructure bill. I'm going to let you know what we're going to get and the status of the bill. At the Kabul airport in Afghanistan, suicide bombers, more than 100 people, including 13 US service members. President Biden held a press conference, and I'll let you know what he said. The Supreme Court ruled 6-3 against the eviction protection. In America, we are now reporting 152,000 cases a day. However, the Johns Hopkins University says that we should be peaking soon, and I hope you're having a very nice day. The human infrastructure bill, it's going to cost approximately $3.5 trillion. I want to give you a full update and let you know what we're going to get and what we're not going to get. But first, I want to clarify that the budget did pass for $3.5 trillion, but this is just a blueprint. The actual bill is still a work in progress, so things may be added in or taken out. The child tax credit payments will be extended. We're expecting it to be extended until the year 2025. The upgrades to the earned income tax credit will be extended to lower taxes for people making under $50,000 a year. There's going to be bigger tax breaks for childcare expenses, such as daycare. The bill includes 2 years of universal preschool. We're going to get 2 years of free community college tuition. There's going to be modifications to Medicare. The eligibility age will be reduced from 65 to 60. Medicare coverage would be modified to include dental, vision, and hearing. There's going to be more money for affordable housing and public housing projects. Paid family leave is included. This includes money for parents with newborns, workers with serious health issues, and people caring for family members. Undocumented immigrants will become eligible for legal permanent status. There's going to be approximately $200 billion to fight climate change. Those are the major items in the human infrastructure bill. Here's some of the items that are not included in the bill. Federal unemployment benefits will not be extended. There will be no student loan cancellation. Stimulus checks are not in the bill. The additional $200 a month for Social Security recipients is not in the bill. There will be no eviction protection. Mortgage forbearance is not included either. There's nothing for essential workers, and there is no increase to the minimum wage. In our political section, I want to cover the status of the human infrastructure bill. As I said, things may be added in or taken out. It's looking like things are going to be taken out because not all of the Democrats agreed to the bill. Democratic Senator Kyrsten Sinema says the bill is too expensive and she's going to vote no to it. If just one Democratic senator votes no, the bill will fail because it needs the support of all 50 Democrats in the Senate. Senator Sinema says if it's going to cost $3.5 trillion, her vote is no, and she's not changing her mind, and it's non-negotiable. But it's not just Senator Sinema that's opposing the $3.5 trillion amount. Senator Joe Manchin is also saying that a $3.5 trillion budget is expensive and it could make inflation worse. Democratic Senator Chris Murphy said, Kyrsten and Joe get the most attention, but they're not alone in wanting that number to be lower. My hope is that we're looking at programs that we need to fund and the programs that we do not need to fund. So now we have a problem. Senator Bernie Sanders wrote the $3.5 trillion budget, and he said that $3.5 trillion is non-negotiable. Sanders said, the truth is we need more. The needs are there. This is the minimum of what we should be spending. $3.5 trillion is non-negotiable. Senator Bernie Sanders is saying that $3.5 trillion is the minimum and non-negotiable because he initially wanted to spend $6 trillion and agreed to lower it to 3.5. For that reason, from Bernie's perspective, he feels like he already compromised. So this is a big problem because Sinema is saying it needs to be less than 3.5 trillion and it's non-negotiable. And you have Sanders saying that it's got to be 3.5 trillion minimum and it's non-negotiable. So somebody needs to cave in, otherwise this bill is not going to pass. So I'll keep you updated on what happens, but the plan, according to Nancy Pelosi, is to pass the human infrastructure bill by October 1st. If you're finding this news summary helpful, please be sure to subscribe, and I thank you so much for all your support. In international news, suicide bombers exploded near the Kabul airports. The Pentagon confirmed that over 100 people were, including 13 US service members. Central Command Chief General Frank McKenzie said, after the explosion, several gunmen started shooting at civilians and at US troops. ISIS has claimed responsibility for the attack. These ISIS members were prisoners that were released when the Taliban took over the country. The evacuation was disrupted, but the Pentagon says that evacuations have now resumed. The State Department said on Wednesday that 1,500 American citizens are still in Afghanistan and want to get out. On Thursday, 500 Americans were evacuated out. The State Department says that they're in contact with the remaining 1,000 Americans. President Biden held a press conference after the bombings. Here's some of Biden's quotes word for word. "We will not let them stop our mission. We will continue the evacuation. We will rescue Americans. We will get our Afghan allies, and the mission will go on. America will not be intimidated." President Biden continues to say, "We will not forgive. We will not forget. We will hunt you down and make you pay." So the situation is getting worse because in addition to evacuating people out, we're starting a new military mission of hunting down ISIS. Biden said, "I've ordered my commanders to develop operational plans to strike ISIS assets, leadership, and facilities. We will respond with force and precision." In current events, cases are still rising in America. We are now reporting 152,000 cases a day. The Johns Hopkins University is saying that the pace of new infections is starting to slow down. New cases increased by 11% over the past week. 2 weeks ago, new cases increased by 30%. Dr. Bruce Farber, the chief of infectious disease at Northwell Health, said, "All outbreaks have their peaks. As the population gets infected and it runs out of fuel, the fuel in this case is an uninfected people." Dr. Farber is basically saying that he's running out of people to infect in America. However, hospitalizations and fatalities lag case counts by a couple of weeks. When people get infected, it takes time for people to get sick enough to seek urgent care. According to the Johns Hopkins University, we're seeing 1,100 fatalities a day. This is up 39% compared to last week. The daily death count is expected to continue rising. On Thursday, the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 that the extension of the CDC eviction protection is unconstitutional. The Supreme Court said the CDC exceeded their authority by extending the eviction protection. The Supreme Court said the CDC tried to extend the eviction protection by using rules that are meant for fumigation and pest extermination. The Supreme Court said in order for the eviction protection to be extended, it needs to be voted on by Congress. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said the decision by the Supreme Court is disappointing. As a result of the ruling, families will face the painful impact of evictions. And I wanted to leave you with this interesting advice on taking naps. A lot of adults feel tired in the middle of the day. Scientists are saying that it's better to take a power nap instead of trying to recharge with caffeine. Rebecca Robbins, a sleep scientist at Brigham and Women's Hospital, said, "A power nap can give you the refreshment that you need if you're struggling to stay alert or if you didn't get a good night's sleep." Robbins says a power nap gives people a chance to rest for a short period of time to boost productivity, but it's only beneficial if you do it correctly. Sleep experts say that you should only nap for 15 to 30 minutes. By doing so, you're going to increase your alertness throughout the day. James Moss, a former professor of psychology at Cornell University, invented the term power nap. Moss says, "A power nap is an opportunity to shut your eyes, breathe slowly, and recharge." Moss says if you nap too long, it's counterproductive and it could actually be bad. Moss said never nap for 60 minutes. If you nap longer than 40 minutes, you're going to wake up feeling groggy for another hour or so. Shelby Harris, a clinical psychologist, said it's best to power nap between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. Sleep experts say that a power nap is better than recharging with caffeine because if you drink coffee or soda later in the day, it can damage your sleep at night and it only gives you 30 minutes of short-term energy. That's the news for today. If you enjoyed today's report, please be sure to subscribe. I thank you for your support.